So if everyone can see on the screen, if you could scan that for me or go to the code that's presented there, we can have a little fun in the direction that we take today. And I'm going to open up the chat too, just to make sure. Thanks, having mic problems. Question. Can you hear us okay? Jennifer, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Yeah,
sorry.
you can just fine. Thanks. Okay, JP. So I'm gonna start. And the good news is that you don't actually have to be able to speak to participate in this portion of it. So first question up, assuming that everyone is able to access this, whether it be from your phone or on your browser, describe your NFT knowledge in one word. This was a way for us to get a pulse on where everyone's at who joined us today, all 5 of us at the lunch table. Limited, you and me both. I should participate as well. JP, were you able to actually access the link, my friend? If not, it's okay. I'm gonna make sure I put mine in because we only got 1 response. Jonathan, you gotta put expert, even though I know you're probably not feeling great. What's that?
I said I have to. I'm thinking of a clever adjective
There you
to
go. There's
handle
mine.
this. You can't say noob.
Noob. I am a noob because I'm speaking with everyone here who would be at that level as well. So I think with that hat on, noob hat. All right, so we'll just say in the room we've got a novice, limited, and a noob, and then we've got some PhD level experts. Which storefront should we build today? So these are 3 pictures here. One's a hobby shop, which is a project of mine. One's the Beats Attic, which is where I record and produce music. And then one is the art studio, which is a disastrous picture of my personal art studio in my garage. So you get to decide which one we do today. Beats Attic. Is that just 1 vote? Let's see. I'm gonna go for the art studio as my number 1. 3 votes in, tied up. Art studio it is. Fantastic. All right, let's do the art studio. So first of all, JP, welcome to your very personal white label storefront demo today. You're not going to get a better seat to go through an end-to-end journey of the value that we can provide than this right here, my friend. So thank you very much for coming. To start, I will assume that you have a MetaMask. You've set up a MetaMask wallet. I'm going to go ahead and kick over to launching our app, which is at app.mintgate.io. And there's a couple of ways you can log in, but I'm going to go ahead and connect with a wallet. And because we are going to build the artist journey today, the art studio, I've actually already got my wallet set up with the art studio to be able to add that. All right. Welcome to inside the MintGate white label storefront. Everything you see here to be able to have your own branded website around your token project you can achieve. And of everything that I've seen in the market over the last 2 years, this is by far the most user-friendly and efficient way for you to be able to not only build an NFT project with your own brand as opposed to on a third-party site, but the simplicity of how you can go through and how they've laid out the team, how easy it is to be able to use and go through producing NFTs, gating tokens, any token on the web. You'll be able to see firsthand right now, but I think the team's done a really good job. So first and foremost, this is the control panel here. We'll call it your dashboard. Everything you need to be able to access inside of the white label studio, you can do, from creating tokens, gating links, customizing your storefront appearance. I'll cover all of these things today. But the very first thing when I'm building a white label storefront, I like to start off with is the domain. So this is the place you're going to, redirect people to. And I'm going to add one more person to the room here. So the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to settings, and I've chosen my username. I can also have my own personal name here and my profile image and a description of what my project is. The banner image is like your hero image. If you ever built a site on WordPress before, or Squarespace or Wix, just to name a few, Shopify. And this is something that's very, very important to add an extra element to your overall experience. So I've already selected some photos here, but I'm going to jump into the white label demo just so we have one. I've got my picture in blue and glasses, and then I can actually go ahead and change my banner image. This is something that you're going to want to sort of think through on what you'd like to be able to have on your storefront, depending on which actual layout you pick. I'll just do this one for starters just to save that. That gets me my general profile set up right now to make sure that I've got something that represents who I am, so I can begin the next process of setting up my actual URL. So from this, I can go to view my storefront, and Adobe to a Dumpster is what I named this project of the art studio, because I have spent the last 2 years going through mastering as best as I can Adobe Digital. But a few months back, I started actually doing physical paintings in my garage, and I hate all of them. So I say I'm going from Adobe to a dumpster because I'm actually charting the journey of an amateur artist all the way through actually creating physical work. And we're doing a project to be able to see if we can actually link together the world of NFTs, and physical or metaphysical products, in our real world, and how those two universes can come together in an effective way. So what better way to do that than actually living that myself? So I'm inside of this now. I've got some backstory on the purpose of this particular project. Now I'm going to actually go down to the settings, and I'm going to go over to domain and contract. So this is the first area where a lot of users typically tend to get stuck on, like, how do I actually set up my URL to make sure that whatever I've chosen for my project, it can display in an easy way. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to first look at if you own that domain. And I've got a few pulled up already. I'm going to actually just jump over to this one here. This is mattyhofstad.com. That's where I'm hosting my current white label project. GoDaddy is a very easy tool to be able to use. Other DNS providers, if you need help, just let us know which one you're using, and we can kind of direct you the right way. But the most important thing you want to be able to capture from this is actually looking at, the www.tokengate.com and the subdomain here. And what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to take out this domain right here. You want to highlight, and I'm going to switch over to the www portion of the CNAME record, and then I'll post in right here this value. And typically I'll do this with in a half hour. I'll go to click save, and then very quickly what you'll find is that on this particular page, once I hit to save settings, it'll update, and then it'll give you a message right here if your domain is actually configured or not. And I can click this link to jump right over to the actual project name, which probably needs a new name for now. And as you can see, my profile image and banner image has been implemented. So this is the actual page with which to do that. You can then choose a couple of things here. One, this is the email where your notifications are going to go. Royalties, up to 10% for your storefront. Some things to think through here are you going to also add royalties, of course, to the NFTs or the assets that you produce on that storefront? What percentage of those are you going to make the royalties on the assets you produce? MintGate charges about a 4.5% transaction fee as well. So you want to sort of think through all these different fees when you're producing your storefront, because this is ultimately what we call a token to take home process of what the actual creator of this value and what your storefront is going to generate at the end of the day. So for today's purpose, I'm going to put in 5, and then I'm going to actually make this public. So I'm creating a project where I would like to be able to invite people to come to my project, to my site, mattyhofstad.com. And if they're also amateur physical artists as well, and they're going through the same journey and they like to be able to post their works here, I want to be able to allow them to do that so I can actually make the page public. The other settings that we have here are users I follow can create, and then private, which is only you can create. And the one thing to know about this is that if you have others that you want to collaborate with, other artists, if you make it users I follow can create, what that essentially means is that only those that you have followed. If you follow them, they can then have access to produce NFTs or gated tokens on your white label site as well, which is a great feature to be able to have. Any questions about that, JP? Because otherwise, I'm going to jump back over to the storefront settings. And here, I've updated this. I'll change the name too. But what I want to point out here is that there are a couple of things that you can do. First and foremost, my username, Matty Hofsta. I'm the one who's logged in with my MetaMask wallet. I'm going to change my storefront heading here to the Artist Studio. And what's really cool about this is depending on the actual theme and layout of my white label site, I can actually see in real time exactly how that's going to look based on the color scheme that I've chosen to utilize. And to give you an example of that, I can actually go down here and click default. And as you can see, as I go through these different themes, it makes it really easy to actually see what your project will look like before you publish it. And that's a super cool feature that makes it really easy for someone like me who's not non-technical to be able to understand what's my project going to look like. And all these different themes sort of cater to different genres, movies, artists, e-commerce. You got to find the one that's right for you. I'm definitely partial to this one. So let's go ahead and go with Imagic right now. And once I've added that element, I can roll this back up. I can go to save the design. And now what you'll notice is on my white label site, if I hit refresh, voila, instantaneous. So that's a really, really cool feature when it comes to editing and just playing around with the different color schemes that you like. You can also change the different card styles of your NFT. So I'm going to leave it at this one for now because we're actually going to produce an NFT here in a second. And then we'll go ahead and change the card style, see what it looks like. So if you have any questions on that, you're good on that, excellent, thumbs up. Now let's create our NFT. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to connect my wallet. It's going to prompt me to make sure that I am logged in with the right one here. Yes, next. And now there's a few options here. And this is something, there's a couple of things to actually consider. One, I like to personally keep content to a minimum when producing the NFT from the outset, because MintGate allows you to be able to go back and amend or append additional content and links to the actual NFT description on your storefront after the fact. So I try to really minimize the details that I put into the actual NFT when I produce it at this stage. So go ahead and admit Thomas Brown. Everyone give a welcome to Thomas Brown for joining us. Welcome, Thomas. So the first thing I'm going to do is we're on the Artist Studio here. So I'm actually going to go and select, let's just do a video. It could be any type of a file format. And I actually will use, let me do this. I realized the Artist Studio one, I'm actually going to do event ticket. And then I'll add my digital artwork until debt tear us apart. All right, back to creating our NFT. So we're gonna set the title for this, until debt tear us apart, and something digital artwork There we go. And if I want to be able to add a cover, which is what everyone's going to see as the actual preview image, this can be, it can be a GIF file as well. I'm very big on animation. You can go ahead and add that there. And then the properties, we get a lot of questions around what that actually means. So in this one, I would say this is actual art. And then I want to do something related, right? So if it's art, then I would say canvas. Right? And so you want to, you want to kind of pair together what the attributes of the NFT would be. I'm going to make this one edition. Think of it as like an ERC 721. And then I would set the price of this at 0.001 because we want to make it cheap. And then as I was saying before, to choose your royalties, this royalty will be in addition to the royalties that you've set up on the storefront. So that's something to think through. If you're the creator, that's the way that it's going to work when it processes. So if you take 100 and you have 5% on your storefront and 10% on the royalty here, then if 85 were to move through the platform, given our 4.5% fee, you would expect roughly around, because nothing's exact in the world of cryptocurrency, around 80, to be the take home in that scenario. So I'm going to go ahead and select 10 for now, and then we'll create this NFT. Sign the transaction. And there we are. And the platform is celebrating on my behalf for creating this amazing NFT. And there's a few things here that I really like, as I just want to call out. Is one, do I want to add any additional content to this? As I said, after the fact, helpful to be able to do that. I can add goals. You have a feature where you can actually hide this until a later date if you want to be able to do some anticipation marketing, or you want to have you have a collaboration or project that you want to debut on a certain date and time. This allows you to be able to plan ahead. This is an off-chain NFT that is on mainnet. Just to point out as well that we're currently working on Polygon support, which, if you're familiar, has significantly lower transaction fees, which will be really, really great for the end user to be able to say if it is in fact $4.50 for this NFT, it's not that plus whatever the gas fees are on mainnet, which could make this a $300 NFT. So we're very, very close inside of, I'll just say, knock on wood, a week or so of being able to support that. So what I'm going to do right off the bat here is I'm going to add a goal, and I'm going to say that we're going to have this on Polygon by the 17th, and my target is going to be one sale. And if this purchase if this goal is achieved, we'll also receive a 50 by 60 canvas of this work, and I can add that goal, set the timeline, and now I can go over to my goals, and I can see that I got 14 days, 4 hours, and 31 minutes to actually achieve that goal. So I think this is really important, because what you want to think through with any token project, any NFT project, is what's the purpose of my project? What am I trying to achieve? What's the outcome? Have I defined what success looks like for me? And have I made sure that the storefront that I've created and the assets I've created as a part of that storefront are all representing the brand and telling the story that I want it to be able to tell? And having an end goal or an objective in mind of what you want to get as an outcome is a very healthy way to make sure that you stay on track. And the platform makes it very, very easy for you to be able to do that. I can go back and edit the content or add additional content, as I said before. I can go to view the details, and the team has recently cleaned all of this up. It's fantastic. Any activity or bids as well will show up here. And if I wanted to go ahead and update the description, this is like what you see is what you get editor, which is really awesome, because I can come in and I can take a bunch of content that is after the fact, and I can add this in. I can change the settings for it. You can do links as well to like a link tree, for example. Really awesome to be able to do that, which also means is that if you had a access token for like an event, for example, or if this is part of a membership, that what it allows you to be able to do is you can go back and add additional perks and value to that asset on the MintGate platform, even after it's already been set up. And that's something that means that you can at least produce the assets, get it in position while you're still thinking through some of the perhaps economics or what you want to be able to deliver with the business or the project, excuse me. Any questions, JP? Give you a chance to respond. No, all good. Fantastic. So now I'll go back to the admin dashboard. One of the things that I can do with this now as well, just to kind of show you, is if I wanted to say it is part of an access token, let's say, and I wanted to be able to say that I only want with if someone purchases this access token with MintGate, I only want those who have the token or own this token to be able to see content on my site. I can take the actual URL I can come in as an example. I can paste that here. I can add to this, what that's going to actually do, just as an example. And this will allow me to actually gate this token. So I'll have to have that in my wallet to be able to access the value that's on that page. I'm doing something very similar with a unique Marvel drop with the Hobby Cartel, which is a project that I work on, where I only want the benefits and perks that I'm creating around these 25 NFTs to be available to those who purchase that NFT. And so this is a feature. MintGate does this absolutely the best. You can gate any URL, gate anything on the internet, and this allows you to be able to create a whole new paradigm of value in any market. And that's something that is very, very cool, because you can literally come in and you can add value in big markets where there's already incumbents, and add a whole new layer of experience around this, which I think is tremendously awesome if you're an early stage creator who's thinking through NFTs, even if you're a novice or a noob like we are at this stage. So I can jump into the community section. I scheduled this for a half hour, I think. I watched previous videos on this info, but this is good. Anything else, any specific questions I can answer for you around anything NFT and or MintGate? Hannah? Jennifer? Jonathan?
I'm all good.
No questions? Man, taking all the fun away from it. I want to be able to I want to be able to give that value. This is completion of just this kind of early stage here. If you don't have any questions, yes, can we go over the 4.6% transaction fees again? Yes. All right. So storefront, start there. Go to settings. I've got my general settings that are here. I go to my domain and contract. In the royalty section, up to 10% max, this is for the storefront. So again, let's take 100 Ethereum marbles. Simple number, right? If I put down here, let's say increments of 10, I do a max and I make this 10%. And that means right off the bat, if someone were to produce an NFT for 100 Ethereum marbles through your storefront, someone transacted on that NFT, that's going to bring it down to 90 Ethereum marbles. Then you've got the 4.5% MintGate transaction fee. Let's just say that brings it down to 85. And let's say you, the creator of the NFT, also has a 10% royalty. And now that's going to bring it down to 75. So in the transaction, it's off chain. So there's on mainnet, there's going to be fees on the front side that the end user, the consumer, the purchaser of the NFT is going to see, depending on whatever mainnet fees are at the time they choose to transact. But rolled up into that as well is your storefront fee, the royalty for the creator, and the platform transaction fee that will come out of that at the point of sale. By keeping the Ethereum mainnet fees off the table and just talking sort of brass tacks, if you will, on your creator storefront, the creator of the actual asset of the NFT, and the MintGate fee, you would expect, based on what I've set up here, 75 Ethereum marbles to be your take home. Does that make sense? Does that answer your question? Yes. Is there any reason you wouldn't sign up for MintGate and launch a NFT token project with our white label solution? Is there anything stopping you? 75 marbles. That's exactly right. About. Nothing is exact in the world of cryptocurrency, but that is, you can plus or minus, let's say 1.5. And I will point this out. I realize that I missed this. So if you want to be able to launch your own smart contract on mainnet from your NFT storefront, you can absolutely do that. And you can deploy that contract from right here. Depending on what the transaction or gas fees are on Ethereum at the time you choose to be able to deploy that contract is to be determined. But what this will allow you to be able to do is have your own branded actual collection on Rarible, through this if you deploy that contract from right here. So if you're wanting to be able to, have your NFTs be viewable with your brand on Rarible and through OpenSea, then you're going to want to go down here and you're going to want to deploy your own contract through here with your project to make sure that your branding is consistent throughout. Otherwise, you don't have to do that, and you can just drive everyone to your own site here and transact in the NFTs with your white label solution. I can give you an example of what that looks like with another one of my projects, if you'd like. Sign out. Let's see. Sign in with the new solution, and I will go to my settings, and I'll go to my domain and contract, and down here at the bottom, I'll connect my wallet one more time. Make sure I got the right wallet configured. And there you can see that I've got my contract address right here that I can go in and view on Etherscan to validate. But I did this for the customer who wanted to be able to have their branding consistent. Will the white label site always reference MintGate at the bottom of the screen? Well, if you go to your actual front end, here, I'm at a Hofsta. I haven't connected my wallet. But down here at the bottom, that's a great question. We haven't decided. And if we have decided, I don't know the answer. But
I can say when you launch your own custom domain, we can remove the footer information from your own custom domain.
There you go.
So yeah.
Which
Just
other
use
white label
just
solutions
use a
don't
custom
do.
domain.
Yeah. So that's awesome, actually. Because now everyone will just think that you are not an NFT novice. You're an NFT expert, and you've very, very meticulously crafted an exceptional website for transacting on your NFTs. So what's your domain going to be before we wrap up today? Have you thought that through yet? Not sure just yet. Well, thank you very much for attending today, JP. Other than that, hopefully you found good use of this time. If you have any other questions, feel free to DM me directly. We're looking forward to being able to support your NFT project objectives. Thank you so much.